Hey guys, good evening. It's Nick again, coming at you with another combo tutorial for my FA Metalfoes deck. I wanted to do something a little different this time and try to focus more on a combo that didn't necessarily involve Crystron Halqifibrax or Magician Souls. I'm just literally going to shuffle the deck, try and do a, test opening hand and see what kind of board I can make without facilitating the use of Souls or Halqifibrax if I can help it. Depending on what we open with, though, I may be forced to use Souls, and if that's the case, I will definitely not be using Halq. I guess the main goal of this video is to show people that the deck doesn't necessarily need to make Halqifibrax to still put out negations, nor does it necessarily need Magician Souls to be able to play, which I know that conversation has come up in some of my other videos that I've made regarding this deck. That obviously Souls is an insane extender, as well as a consistency booster. And, a lot of people don't have access to the card because of how expensive it actually is. And then with Halqifibrax, a lot of people question if the deck's viable without Halq. I always get in the comments, or especially on the Discord, well, what can the deck do without Halq? It's just Halq Turbo. And you know what? At the end of the day, let's face it, most synchro decks are going to be using Halqifibrax to some capacity, because Halq is just that busted of a card. However, there are plays you can make without using Halqifibrax at all. And that's what this video is actually going to be showcasing. I'm going to do the best that I can to not use Souls. However, I will most definitely not be using Halq. It just depends on what the opening hand looks like. And as you guys can see, I've still been shuffling the deck. So we're literally going to cut, just so you guys know that I'm not cheating. I will even put the deck right here. We're just going to draw 5 cards, see what we open with, and we'll go from there and see what kind of board we can make. Oh, this is actually good. I'm glad we drew that, because I can actually show you guys how we can combo by drawing the Cult Wing. So our opening hand was actually triple field spell, Cult Wing, and a Metalfoes. So let's see what we can do here. We're going to go ahead and activate FA City Grand Prix and activate Metalfoes Stealin' in the Pen Scale. Stealin' effect, target City Grand Prix to pop. Off of Stealin's effect, I will set a copy of... we'll just do a Metalfoes counter, actually. Then we'll resolve the effect of FA City Grand Prix. We will grab a UA Hyper Stadium, since that's always treated as an FA card, which is pretty nice. Now, the funny thing about this is, obviously, Cult Wing is a brick. Now, in my other deck profiles, I talked about how you can still use Cult Wing with your combo as long as you have access to scales. But as you can see, we don't have access to a pendulum scale, so Cult Wing is a bit of a brick. However, I'm going to show you guys a combo that you can use that will actually help facilitate still making a board by using Cult Wing. So when you draw this card, it's not always a brick, so I'm actually really glad I drew into this. So this is our hand right now. It's a copy of UA Hyper Stadium, Off-Road Grand Prix, the Cult Wing, and then another city. We are going to go ahead and activate UA Hyper Stadium in the field zone and activate the effect to go ahead and search for an FA monster when it's activated. And we're going to be searching for our copy of FA Auto Navigator, excuse me. So we got our copy of FA Auto Nav. Still trying to shuffle here, bear with me. Cut again. And let's see here. So now our hand is Auto Nav, Mecha Phantom Beast Cult Wing, and the City Grand Prix. We are actually going to use UA Hyper Stadium's secondary effect here. And that effect is we can pay 1,000 of our life points, reveal any field spell in our hand, and then we can normal summon an FA monster in addition to our normal summoner set this turn. So what we're actually going to do is we're going to use that additional summon on the FA Auto Navigator. So we're going to go ahead and summon her out off of the double summon effect of Hyper Stadium. And then since Auto Navigator was normal summoned, we can use Auto Nav's effect to go ahead and search for a field spell. which ironically we can actually grab anything we want. I mean, we already have a city engrave and we have an off-road on our hand. So we can actually just search like circuit here, which is nice that we do play the 1-of with circuit just as an additional name. Go ahead and cut the deck. And now here's where things get really interesting, because we can actually normal summon our Metalfoes Coltwing out of our hand, since we had gotten a double summon effect this turn off Hyper Stadium. So we never actually used our regular normal summon yet. So we're going to go ahead and do that right now and go ahead and normal summon our Metalfoes Coltwing, who so happens to be a level 4 monster. So now what we're going to do here is we're actually going to synchro summon using the Coltwing and the Auto Navigator, who's level 1 currently, and Coltwing's level 4. We're going to synchro for 5. And the synchro monster we're going to be going into is actually a copy of Gardenrol's Flora, which will stick her right there. Gardenrol's Flora does have a really interesting effect where she can pop a field spell and to special summon a level 2 Rose token to the field. And then Gardenrol's Flora, she's a tuner synchro. She can also, as a quick effect, synchro summon during the opponent's turn on their main phase, which is nice. So we're going to send our copy of Hyper Stadium to the graveyard since it already fulfilled its purpose. And in this case, we can actually go ahead and either activate Circuit Grand Prix or Off-Road Grand Prix from our hand. We could also activate City Grand Prix, but something to note with the FA field spells is even though they're not once per turn on activation, with the exception of Hyper Stadium, because this you can only activate once per turn, the other 3 field spells in the theme, which are City, Off-Road, and Circuit, none of them have a once per turn clause on activation, so you can activate 2 copies of City in the same turn. What their once per turn effect actually is the destruction effect. So since I actually used the destruction effect of City Grand Prix earlier in the turn, if I use Flora's effect to destroy the second City Grand Prix in my hand this turn, the floating effect of City won't actually trigger, because the float on each field spell is once per turn per name. So that's just something to note, but that's not a problem because we still have Circuit and Off-Road in our hand, which we haven't used their grave effects yet. So we can actually just activate... We'll go ahead and do a Circuit Grand Prix, actually. Activate Circuit Grand Prix, and we will go ahead and use the effect of our Gardenrol's Flora to blow up the Circuit Grand Prix to special summon out our Rose token, who's level 2, in attack position. And then because Circuit Grand Prix was destroyed, we will use the graveyard effect to go ahead and add an FA card from the deck to our hand. And what we can search here is actually a copy of FA Dark Dragster, which is another pseudo extender that we play in the deck. Mind you, keep in mind, this is all just off of a random opening hand that I drew with, and we're literally, I'm going to showcase you guys this combo, how the kind of board we could end on without using Halqifibrax or Magician Souls. So, what we can do now is we can actually synchro for 7 here, because the token's level 2 and Flora's 5. So instead of waiting for the opponent's turn, we can still just synchro right now since it's our own main phase anyway, and we can synchro summon for 7. And usually we do play a lot of different level 7 targets. I mean, we play Black Rose Dragon. We also play the Psyframe Lord Zeta, which is nice. We even play a copy of Cyber's Quantum Dragon, which is actually pretty funny. He does have some really, really good effects. But usually what we're going to go into, in this case, is going to be a copy of our favorite synchro, FA Dawn Dragster. So, go ahead and synchro summon that bad boy over here. And now what we can do is, because we control a level 7 or higher FA monster, we can actually go ahead and special summon the Dark Dragster straight out of our hand for free. So we're going to go ahead and special summon our Dark Dragster. Something to note, that Gardenrol's Flora, if you use her effect to pop a field spell and summon a Rose token, you cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck for the rest of this turn except synchro monsters. But it doesn't stop you from special summoning anything else from your hand, for example, which is nice. You're only locked into synchro summoning from the extra deck, which is not a problem because that's what this deck likes to do anyway. So now we have a Dawn Dragster, which is the Spell Trap Negate, and we have a Dark Dragster, which is a once per turn target pop, similar to a Zodiac Trident, by reducing his level by 3. Now what we can do here is we can activate Off-Road Grand Prix, which is the field spell we have not yet used. Go ahead and activate that in the field zone. Now, Off-Road Grand Prix effect will trigger, giving all FA monsters 2 levels during the main phase, and that's either player's main phase. So Dawn Dragster gains 2 levels, and Dark Dragster gains 2 levels, making them both level 9 respectively. Hold on, let me just get a dice here. Yeah, so they're both level 9. Now, in this case, I'm going to keep FA Dawn Dragster at level 9. I could use his own individual effect since an FA spell was used to gain another level and make him a level 10, but I don't think I want to do that right now. However, I will use the effect of FA Dark Dragster to gain a level and make him 10. And you guys will see why in a second, because the level modulation does matter, since that determines the kind of synchro you're able to make, obviously. So now what we're going to do is, we're going to use the Graveyard effect of our FA Auto Navigator. We are going to target the FA Dark Dragster on our field, special summon it to our zone and defense position, and then Auto Navigator's level becomes the amount that was reduced from Dark Dragster. So Auto Nav's level becomes 3. Now, something that confuses a lot of people is they question whether or not the field spell has any effect on her level right now, and it does not. Because the way Auto Navigator works is when she's summoned off of her own effect, her level changes after she's been summoned. So whatever level changes the field spell is giving no longer apply to her specifically. And then Dark Dragster is now back to level 7, since she targeted Dark Dragster and reduced it to its original. And that's why Auto Nav's level 3 right now. So we do have a level 3 monster on field, and we have a level 7 monster on field, which we could actually consolidate both and make a level 10 synchro, which could be our copy of Ruddy Rose Dragon out of Lightning Overdrive. So we could make that, and effectively that would be our board if we wanted to. We literally put up a Spell Trap Negate and a copy of Ruddy Rose Dragon, which can prevent destruction of cards on field and float into a Black Rose, which is really, really disgusting. And then also we have in the back row a copy of Metalfoes Counter. So if anything on our field does get destroyed by battle or card effect, we get to special summon a Metalfoes straight out of our deck. And one of my favorite targets to summon off of that is the Metalfoes Vanisher out of Blazing Vortex. And when he's special summoned by the effect of a Metalfoes card, I can target a monster the opponent has on their field or in their graveyard and banish it, which is really cool. So that's one option that we can go into, is the Ruddy Rose. Or if we don't want to do that, we can actually go into a copy. Let's see here. Let's rewind a little bit. So our Auto Nav is still level 3, and Dark Dragster is level 7 right now. We could activate the effect of Dark Dragster to reduce his level by 3, making him a level 4 temporarily, to target one card in the field and destroy it. And we can target our own field spell and blow it up. Now the interesting thing about this is Dawn Dragster loses his 2 levels because the field spell is no longer on board. And then Dark Dragster also loses 2 levels. So he drops from level 4 to a level 2 temporarily. And then what's going to happen is we're going to resolve the Graveyard effect of Off-Road Grand Prix to float into any FA card from deck to hand. So we can actually go into a copy of FA Test Run, for example, to have a non-target pop for the opponent's turn ready to go. And then what's going to happen is, since the Graveyard effect of Off-Road Grand Prix resolved, that's considered an FA effect activating. So both Dark Dragster and Dawn Dragster are going to gain a level off of that interaction. So Dawn Dragster goes to level 8, and then Dark Dragster is going to go from a level 2 to a level 3. Counting is hard sometimes. So now, keep in mind... Oh, and then also the Auto Nav is also... No, she's still level 3. Excuse me. We can go ahead and activate a copy of FA City Grand Prix now. FA City Grand Prix is going to go ahead and give everything 2 more levels. So our Dawn Dragster goes from a level 8 to a level 10. And then our Dark Dragster goes from a level 3 to a level 5. And then AutoNav, and now in this case, AutoNav's level does get modified because there was a field spell was activated, a new one, that is going to modulate levels of all FAs on field. So in this case, Auto Navigator's effect does change because a whole new spell is activated, and that new effect to modulate levels supersedes her effect that she had when she was summoned a few plays ago. So she's actually gonna jump from a level 3 to a level 5, which is pretty interesting. Sorry, I'm just trying to think in my head here. Yeah, so she's a level 5 right now, and then Dark Dragster is a level 5 as well. So we have two level 5s on field. So we could actually still go into our Ready Rose play if we so wish. Now, you're probably wondering, well, how is this any different from going into Ready Rose on the first play? And the big difference with that is the fact that now we have City Grand Prix instead of Off-Road Grand Prix. So now our Dawn Dragster cannot be targeted. And we also gave him an additional level. So now he's actually level 10 and he's 3,000 attack. And because we went the Dark Dragster route first, we searched out a copy of Test Run, which we can set to board. So now we have an additional disruption on the opponent's turn by just going the Dark Dragster route and using his effect to pop our Off-Road Grand Prix. We're able to extend a little further and give Dawn Dragster a little bit more protection and also end on an additional disruption. So with literally just this random opening hand that I shuffled, and you guys saw me cut, and I legitly shuffled it. I even pile shuffled the damn deck. We ended on technically 4 disruptions because Dawn Dragster's a spell trap negate. Ready Rose Dragon will negate any effect that would attempt to destroy a card on field, and then it will float into a Black Rose Dragon. We also have a Test Run that's set in our back row, so that is a non-target pop of any card on the field that we can use during the opponent's turn. It's really, really nice. And then we also have the Metalfoes counter in the back row as well, which is another pseudo form of disruption, because if the opponent destroys anything on our field by any chance, we can activate this card at resolution and then special summon a Metalfoes from deck. And like I was saying, the target that I usually like to go into with that is a copy of Metalfoes Vanisher. Let me see if I can find it here. Ah, yes, here it is. Copy of Metalfoes Vanisher. And when Metalfoes Vanisher is special summoned by the effect of a Metalfoes card, you can actually go ahead and target a monster your opponent controls or has in their grave and go ahead and banish it. So it's a really, really strong card. So like I said, without even going into Souls, because we didn't open it, or even summoning a Crystron Halqifibrax, we were literally able to still end on a 4 disruption board, which in my opinion is pretty respectable. And then obviously, like, the opponent's going to have a hard time getting over these cards. Dawn Dragster's a 3k beater, and Ready Rose is a 3200 beater. So there are, I can put some decent damage on board, even if I was going second. I mean, that's 6200 attack, which is like, almost an OTK, depending on how the game was going earlier. But I just wanted to post this quick video for you guys, just to showcase that FA Metalfoes can still be played without using Halq and without using Souls. Obviously, the ceiling is a lot lower, but you can still make a pretty decent board, with just a random opening hand. And keep in mind, we made this field opening the freaking Garnet that we play in our deck, which is the copy of Cult Wing. So, like I said, I just wanted to put out this video and, just show you guys that FA Metalfoes is still pretty viable, even when you don't open Souls, and even when you don't go into Crystron Halqifibrax. So, take from that what you will, but hopefully you guys enjoyed this small combo tutorial. I'm probably going to post another one maybe this weekend, just to, kind of keep videos on the channel flowing. And I am still working with my close friend to try and get that Numeron duel, live duel up pretty soon as well. But let me know what you guys think. Like, comment, subscribe, you know, I'm a huge fan of FAs, and I think Metalfoes does pair extremely well with the strategy. And you know, so far I've been playing the deck for a really long time, and I love it. I think Metalfoes and FA pair extremely well together, and it's a deck that a lot of people don't really pay attention to, just because, you know, obviously FA isn't meta relevant, and, you know, Metalfoes hasn't been meta relevant for years. But they're all still really good cards, and they have really good effects, and you can make really cool synchros with the deck. So, like I said, I mean, at this point I'm kind of just rambling on, but, you know, like, comment, subscribe. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me in the comments below. I'm always responding to anyone that likes to, you know, pick my brain about stuff. I had a few people, like I said, on the Discord and on other videos that have made, you know, comment and talk about if the deck was still playable without Souls and without Halq. So hopefully this combo tutorial kind of showcases a bit of what the deck can do without those two cards. And even making a board like this while you opened your garnet, which is pretty funny. So either way, guys, have a good night. And yeah, stay tuned for more content soon to come. Bye.